Brie Larson returns as Captain Marvel in a half-sequel to Captain Marvel, which of course takes on a new name, aka The Marvels, and this time puts the story's focus on not just Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, but also her partners, Monica Rambeau and Ms. Marvel herself, Kamala Khan. So without spoilers, let's get to my review of The Marvels. So just before we get to my review, I always see people say, I don't care what other reviews say, like Rotten Tomatoes or anything else, for example. They're like, I'll make up my own mind. And while you should definitely keep that energy, it's always baffling to me that people can say, well, this film is scoring a 2 out of 10. That's not going to affect how I perceive the film going into it. Of course it's going to. Now, yeah, I'm not saying that The Marvels got a 2 out of 10 anywhere, or maybe it did, I don't know, I don't care. But the moment you see reviews, they do have a tendency to impact you, right? And you go, well, wow, I was hyped for that, but now maybe my hype will die down a little bit. Did I feel that way about The Marvels? Yes, because, as I said it before, I think the first Captain Marvel was a fine film. Brie Larson being boring in it and having no emotion was literally the plot of the film. So I don't blame her being a stoic, blind, literally brainwashed soldier on her, because that's what the film called for. Which brings me to the first part of this film I want to talk about, and that's the cast. Starting with Brie Larson, she is tremendous in this. This is the Captain Marvel that if we would have gotten from the start, people would absolutely love her. Assuming she didn't make comments about women needing to review films based on women, because that would still backfire. But still, this is Captain Marvel the way she should be. And honestly, the way, to me, she's come off in the pages for quite a long time, unless she's, of course, having to be a stern leader, which then that changes everybody's tone and perception. Next up, Monica. I think she is a massive step up from the last time we saw her. Honestly, very welcoming here, and her inclusion in the MCU, if they can keep her energy and exactly how she is in this going forward, I think she will quickly become a fan favorite. Speaking of fan favorites, let's talk about fan favorite Ms. Marvel in this film. Everybody I saw the film with after the film was gushing about how good Iman Vellani is in this role. She was born to be Ms. Marvel. She's writing Ms. Marvel and shows that she is Ms. Marvel. If you like this character, she steals the show. Honestly, the best part of the film. Anytime she's on screen, she's infectious. You want to smile. Like, she just has an energy to her that I haven't seen in many comic book performances in quite a long time. She is the stellar standout of this entire film, and I will not be surprised if Marvel goes, you know what? If we make a The Marvels 2 or whatever, she's the central character. Honestly, push this character because, yeah, she works. Okay, now that I'm done talking about the characters here and their actors, let's talk about the plot. Very simplistic and very rapid fire in nature. At a brisk runtime of just over 1 hour and 35 minutes, this thing expects you to have kept up with the MCU, and it's built off the back of not just Ms. Marvel, not just WandaVision, but also some elements of what's been happening with Fury. I don't want to get into Secret Invasion right now. That's a whole nother can of worms in relation to this. But they expect that you've been keeping up and know exactly what's going on and why there's random incursions / multiverses. They want you to know about the Bangle. They want you to know about Captain Marvel, knowing about other things out there, and possibly pointing towards Kang coming and all these massive weapons. The film throws you into the middle of the MCU and says, well, we hope you kept up with the MCU. Have at it. And as somebody who has, yeah, it works for me. As somebody who joined me who hasn't seen a single MCU project outside of Loki Season 1, he was completely lost. He was like, I have no idea what's going on here. Please catch me up. And I just gave him the homework list of go watch everything and come back and watch this in 2 weeks. And I think this could be a problem for the film. But again, it's a film in an ongoing universe that's building up the next big, clash. So yeah, it's doing what it needs to. And I don't hate it for that. I will say the one thing that did stick out to me is there is a couple of shots in this that the actual CG falls short of what you expect in terms of other shots you can compare to in this film that are honestly stellar and seem like that they come from an age of Marvel that we don't see much, where things aren't just rushed out the door. You can tell they put effort into the post-production of this. Again, outside of a couple of shots that every comic book movie has, this is one of the better looking ones from Marvel Studios and all comic books, in my opinion. Now, one thing that did stick out to me in terms of the bigger picture here and how the film all clicks everything together and what's going on is the fact that when you get into this film, and by the time you walk away from it, they're tossing a lot at you, especially after the film is over. Hint, hint, stay for the scenes. As Marvel fans, I think you know what to expect. It's a complete mind-bending, oh my god, what are they doing here type of moment. Literally, my theater, I think it shook. I actually think it shook when it happened. And again, that's the strength of this film. There's quite a few scenes in this that are like this, that you're just like, yeah, you have that energy. You almost feel like you're watching something that you've never seen before. And it's because of the way that they handle not just the characters, but their energy, how they come together, and what they're teasing that's coming next. Again, I really got to try to avoid spoilers, but the film to me was a massive step up. And I get why some people don't like it, but again, as somebody that's stuck with everything MCU and knows what's going on and keeps up with the continuity, it's a film made for us. That's really what I get from it here. So overall, I loved the Marvels. I don't know where it's going to end up on my rankings. I don't know if it's going to be in like the top 15. It might be in 15 to 20, somewhere in there. Again, I'm going to have to watch it again to kind of get my bearings on where it stands, but it is a tremendous step up. It included a lot of things I hoped that Captain Marvel would. It does a great, I guess you could call it an expansion to, Ms. Marvel. It does more with Monica. It's teasing a lot of what's to come. It has a fast pace and this energy that just never lets down. I never felt like I was bored. I never felt like, hey, maybe this could have used a little bit more time. I felt like it all worked for me because, again, I'm somebody that keeps up with it. And to me, the weakest part of this film, honestly, might just be the villain, which I haven't talked about yet. And it's not saying that she's awful, but she's here to serve a purpose. And this purpose has ties to, obviously, Captain Marvel and what's going on in the bigger picture. But to me, she was just a plot device to kind of get these three together, show us the energy, and hopefully get people to be excited about two characters they haven't seen on film yet. And I think it does a great job at that. So overall, in my opinion, The Marvels is a great step up. I don't think it's a bad film at all. I think it's good. Now, again, we don't do scores here. I can tell you this isn't, to me, a 9 out of 10 or something like that. It's not there. But I'm also telling you it's not a 6 out of 10. It's going to fall somewhere in there if I had to score it, but we don't score things here, so I'm not going to do that. Overall, I enjoyed it. I'm excited to see it again. I think upon rewatching this, honestly, I think I'm going to like it even more. So, let me know what you guys thought of it, and stay tuned for more Captain Marvel talk. And I guess the Marvels talk in general.